So I'm on time today. How do you like them apples? Um, my husband's walking around out there half dressed. His ripped up shorts. I'm probably not going to show you him. Okay, what's going on with this? I'm having some issues here this morning. You can see him walking around in the background. He's outside working on our. Let me turn this off and see if you can see better outside. Nope. He is working on getting our Chase Lounge just completely restained outside because the weather. And that's kind of what I want to talk about today with Costa Rica. Can't take the weather with you, as Jimmy Buffett said. Oh, well, actually, he said the opposite. He said you could take the weather with you. What am I saying? Um, but you really can't. Here, what's interesting about Costa Rica is you do have two seasons. You don't have four like we do in the States. So if you're sick of where you are in the snow, you're not going to have that here. You're not going to have the hoe issue. There's a sign in front of my real estate agent's office that makes me laugh. It says, free lifetime snow removal with purchase of house. I don't know if there's ever been snow here. There are a lot of mountains, so there may be a snow or two. One of the things about the mountains here is I always tell people this is the place to come practically every climate. Now, you're not going to have the kind of heavy snow in winter here that we get in the United States, but you're going to have pretty close. If you really want colder weather, like I said, we were up in Cope de Dota in the Tarazu region, and it gets down to the 40s at night. It can be positively chilly there. And they don't always have heat. They didn't have heat in the little plastic room they had us in. We just would snuggle together every night under like six quilts, going, "Give me your body heat, give me your body heat, give me your body heat," cuddling on each other, trying to get warm again. So there's all sorts of wonderful mountain regions. If I had to pick a place where I breathe the best, it would be Atenas, near Grecia and near San Jose. It's a mountain community that it's almost all Germans up there. It's very interesting. They're German influence. If you drive along, you'll see signs English and German spoken here, or you'll see German guest house, like little restaurants everywhere. But Atenas has its own different weather. It is just very. It's not cold. It's not hot. It's very moderate, and the air is really very clean there. It's actually pretty nice. I like the tennis, even if it is really close to the airport and San Jose. San Jose is a different ball game. San Jose is what you think of when you think of a large Central American city where everybody's running around on their vehicles and the streets don't make any sense. And the that's one thing you have to get used to here. There are no almost no street signs, and the ones there are make no sense. Example, in San Jose, it might say something like Avenida 10. The next street you come to might say Calle 50, and then the one you come after that might be Avenida 3. It just doesn't make any kind of sense at all. Ah, very bright. Well, it made you pick Costa Rica to move to. It was actually my husband's idea. I had no intention of moving anywhere. I loved my little Cape Cod house. I liked, hey, hey, Marmaduke. I liked my life in the Northern Virginia suburbs of DC. I liked being near the Kennedy Center. I like being able to do all sorts of things. But as he got closer and closer to retirement age, he kept talking about moving. And we had spent our entire lives joking about when we retired, we were going to move to some sort of tropical paradise and open a Le Turista trap, he used to call it, a tourist trap, some kind of souvenir store or something. So he started talking about that, and he picked Costa Rica for a lot of reasons after doing a ton of research. There's no military here. The government here, they actually um, educate everybody for free, including university level. There is socialized medicine for the locals. Hey, hey, Nana. So there's a lot of different things to like about it here. The climate is moderate, which is what I'm talking about today. Cost of living is greatly reduced here. Like I said, we have a big house here that we paid very little for. Now, of course, it was on a fire sale, probably should have been at least 50 or 60,000 more. In the States, it probably would have been out of our price range. It'd probably been $500,000, this house, but not here. And he wanted to be here because he thought his health would be better in a place where he could be outside and exercising all the time. I wasn't sure with my mast cell if it was going to work for me, but it does. Even though I have a new set of things that I'm allergic to that I didn't know before, like people burning leaves, palm pollen. Hey, Nana. Um, anyway, so that's why we moved here. He picked it because it had all the advantages we could think of. The only disadvantages we could see is it's kind of rural. There's not a lot of shopping. If you want to shop, you got to go to San Jose or Liberia, which Liberia is just like a 40, 50-minute drive for me. So it's really not too bad. It's kind of like when we first moved to our area of Virginia. Um, there was no shopping there either, and I had to drive to Charlottesville or DC to shop. Or sometimes Richmond. Ooh, I'm not sure I like this. Tropical Limonada con herbales. Lemonade with herbs. Not sure it's so good. So we thought this would be the ideal place because cost of living's less. It's a more relaxed atmosphere. That's the big advantage to me, I think. They always say Pura Vida, and that Pura Vida means pure life. But it's a way of life here in Costa Rica that almost everybody embraces. It's a kind of a laid back atmosphere. You don't have the kind of things going on that you have in America with school shootings and all of that mass insanity. Our bank got robbed once while we were here, and it was a major, major thing. You just don't see those sort of things very often. Okay. So, weather. Here where we are in Guanacaste, I think we have the best weather. There's a reason that they call the area I'm in the Gold Coast. Cocoa Beach, Playa Conchal, Playa Brasalito, Playa Matapalo, Playa Tamarindo, Playa Langosta, Playa Aviadas, and all these other places, 10 trillion beaches. We're in the dry season here. Guanacaste has the longest dry season and the shortest wet season in Costa Rica. And even in wet season, you usually only have rain in the afternoon or late evening. When we were in Cope de Dota, it rained much more. It's up in the mountains instead of at the beach. And you could count every day at exactly noon, it would start raining. Sometimes it would rain a little while, but most of the time it would rain till sunset or past sunset. There are many times that if you're there, you need raincoat, umbrella, and rain boots. You really do because it rains quite a bit there, and that's fine if that's what you like. Um, Here, it'll rain some in the afternoon. The only problem at spot is October. It rains almost continually in October here. You could also count on the weather, the temperature being somewhere between 60 and 100 degrees here all the time. I've never seen it get below 60. I will say when it gets anywhere near 70, I start shivering and put on a sweater and act like it's the blizzard season. I'm sorry. I got to turn that off. Speaking of which, I am freezing my butt off this morning. I turned the AC off. Um, so there's that. There's also San Jose, I understand, has a more variety of temperatures. They have more seasons. Then there's Limon, which is on the Caribbean side. It's hot, just like it is when you're in Florida on the Gulf Coast. It's on the Gulf. It rains more. They say that in Limon, it rains every single day. They don't have rainy season, dry season like we have here. Guanacaste is basically a desert half the year. And I got to go out there and water in a few minutes. I got to water all my plants to keep them. Um, Susceptible to hurricanes? No. Um, JC Mills? No, it's not susceptible to hurricanes. They've had exactly two in their history hit here. Now, we did have two this year that hit near Honduras and Nicaragua, which is north of us, where BJJ Comic Nut lives. And that's pretty unusual, too. So I don't know with global warming what's going to happen. We've experienced one hurricane here, and it was right after we moved here. It was an October day when we had a flight out of San Jose to our home in Washington, D.C., and we couldn't get out. We hauled our suitcases through 2 inches of water, turned into 4 inches of water, that turned into 6 inches of water, and waited at the bus stop forever. The bus never came. We found out later when we got back to the house and lost power that tropical storm Nate, that had supposedly was going to veer and go up, did not, and went straight and started slamming right through us. Tremendous rains knocked our power out for like 3 days. We could not even get anywhere near San Jose. It washed out Rutas 1, the main road, the main Pan American Highway. It just knocked it completely out. Mudslides. It was terrible. We finally got out days later by taking a taxi to Santa Cruz, where we took a bus to Liberia. They dropped us at the airport in Liberia. We slept overnight in the airport, and the airport people were wonderful. They brought out pillows and blankets for us, and they had places for us to sleep. They had snacks. They were very wonderful. So we spent the night there, and then we flew out the next morning on a Air Sansa, which is a local in-country airline, to San Jose. And San Jose, we had to deal with our airline and see if they would rebook our tickets for free and spend another night sleeping in the airport. But the San Jose airport is not as nice as the Liberia one. It just is not. So it was, I always say that was the planes, trains, and automobiles experience we had. And we had to wade through muddy water and stuff. So when I arrived in the States, semi muddy, flip flops, and a beach dress, my poor daughter was like, I can't believe that you were not dressed right. Mom, I know you're all about your clothes and you like to look a certain way. I was like, honey, you don't understand. I waded through flooding to get to the damn airport. So don't give me a lecture about having muddy feet. I know I have muddy feet. I haven't bathed in 3 days. Ah. So that's our hurricane story. We almost never get hurricanes here, but that was the only time it ever happened. Um, we didn't get any last year, the year before, any of that. We do get these tropical rainstorms, and they're all over Costa Rica when they come through. They'll tell you tropical wave number so and so is hitting this week. Just be careful. Make sure that you don't have anything in your low-lying areas, that sort of thing. So they will warn you when that stuff's coming through. There's a good weather service here that let you know what's going on. I'm going to say yet again, when you get here, one of the first things you need to do is sign up with the American Embassy to receive embassy alerts. If you receive embassy alerts, you'll know everything that's going on. We got one that came through today about it's like having senior moments. They were having protests downtown San Jose. They weren't really recommending anybody to come through because if you did, you're going to get caught. And shut down everything for what you do when you protest.